Gervonta, I don't know. What if Jake hits him? You know, Jake's a big guy. I don't know if Gervonta stood next to Jake. Jake's a big guy.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
And Gervonta is small even by lightweight standards.
Right.
So it is a little bit of a David and Goliath.
What do you think about the rumors of Tank and Jake fight?
Man, Tank disrespectful to the sport if he choose that over fighting with me. At first I was like, damn, Tank, like that's kind of crazy, like, duh. But then I started thinking about it throughout the day. I'm thinking about it. I'm seeing the post. And I'm like, yo, none of this is guaranteed.
This poses a risk. As Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis prepare to enter the ring, it is the warning that is reverberating throughout the boxing community. The fight, which is scheduled for November 14th, features the 200-plus pound cruiserweight Paul and the small, unbeaten lightweight champion Davis. The size difference has already caused some people to take notice. The legitimacy of the matchup has been openly questioned by seasoned commentators like Spencer Oliver, who have called it a horrible idea and described it as just a little bit strange. They have also placed bets on Davis's accuracy, speed, and knockout history to win.
Quite surprised because it sounded like Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua was getting closer and closer for January. However, there have been rumours of Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul in the past. I think with Gervonta Davis's kind of legal problems in the last month or so and rumours about his retirement, I don't think it's a massive shock that he is taking this Jake Paul fight if it is going to go ahead, purely for the reason that it's a lot of money for maybe not the most difficult job that he's going to have in his career. So it's a strange one, but yeah, it's just another kind of day in the sport, really, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh my days. Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. Is this real? This can't be real. Because he was talking about fighting Joshua, which is heavyweight. And now he's saying about fighting Tank. Nah, this can't be. It's Netflix as well. I need to go and do some checks and see if like the main pages have posted this. But Jake Paul's posted it. It says Friday, November 14th. It's in Atlanta, State Farm Arena. This is random, no?
My point still stands where it stands. Jake Paul wins this fight. I already bet Gervonta Davis in the DMs. We locked the bet. Guys, it's obvious Jake wins this fight. If you guys know anything about fighting, you know about weight classes. You know that Jake's been training for actual years. He's been locked in.
Shakur Stevenson didn't mince words when he declared that Tank and Jake Paul's vast size disparity made a fight a bad idea. He emphasized that the exhibition would be demeaning to boxing and that Davis should instead face a real boxer, as opposed to a real unification fight with the top. Stevenson framed himself as the more appropriate and difficult opponent, highlighting the fact that Davis might earn more money by competing against a real elite.
You got your eye on Tank. What do you think about the rumors of Tank and Jake fighting?
Man, Tank disrespectful to the sport if he choose that over fighting with me. I'm the best fighter in the sport. I've been telling him that. And he called cap on it. So if you gonna call cap and say I'm not who I say I am, come prove it.
Maybe he'll fight Jake Paul instead. What do you think of that?
I think that's terrible.
Why?
I mean, I get it because at the end of the day, it's the money business, and you want to make the most money. But from what I'm hearing, he can make more money in a fight with me. And if that's the case, why not fight me?
Sure. Do you think he beats Jake Paul?
Do I think he beats Jake? Yeah. I mean,
there's a huge size advantage, though.
It is, but I think Tank got the skills to make sure he come out on top.
Do you think that Jake has gone better?
Yeah, I think actually Jake got tremendously better from the time frame that he started till now. And in the right situation, I also could see him become a world champion.
Really?
Spencer Oliver called the Paul Davis bout a freak show on the TalkSports Drive show, pointing out that Paul frequently fights at cruiser or even heavyweight and that the 65-pound weight difference and opposing styles make it more of a confusing spectacle than a real battle. Oliver stated he should have chosen someone his size, even though Davis is a 135-pound lightweight champion. He also mentioned that Davis's speed and knockout power might easily allow him to slide inside and take out Jake Paul. In the end, Oliver cast doubt on the fight's legitimacy and suggested Tank had the advantage.
With this nonsense.
Well, Ring Magazine have actually released it, so that's pretty strong. Pretty strong
evidence.
evidence that this fight is going to happen. So I think the negotiations with Anthony Joshua have broken down, and I think that was down to broadcasting rights, who would get that with Anthony Joshua being on DAZN. Obviously, Jake Paul is on Netflix, and that's probably where the problem was. So I think that fight is sort of like dead and buried in the water. And we get Gervonta Davis, man, like you guys said it. He's a 135-pound world champion, lightweight world champion. The guy's my height. He's 5'5", and Jake Paul is a cruiserweight. You know, he walks around at sort of like 15 stone. So, and it's an exhibition. So, look, if you buy into that, then yeah, fine. But it's not one for me.
Jake Paul will fight the current WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Davis in an exhibition fight, not a professional one, scheduled for mid-November at Atlanta State Farm Arena and streamed live on Netflix, according to Ring Magazine, which confirmed this information through main writer Manik Aopian and correspondent Mike Kopinger. In addition to highlighting the stark weight class difference, Paul is noticeably heavier. They pointed out that official approval is doubtful because the bout is more of a show than a sanctioned competition.
Certain weight on weigh-in day, maybe even a rehydration clause in it, just to make sure the fight can happen. But it being an exhibition means there doesn't have to be a set weight. There doesn't have to be a catch weight. You weren't getting Jake to come down past 190 pounds or 185 at the very least. I know he said he'd do 185 for Canelo. I don't know about doing that for Gervonta Davis, but there's just not a physically possible way Jake is getting to like 175 or 170 and Tank, whatever he walks around at, whether it's 150, 160, whatever, he's not jumping up to like 180 pounds to fight Jake. So they had to make it an exhibition.
KSI has publicly blasted Jake Paul for his bout with Gervonta Davis, calling it a boxing embarrassment. He said he was disappointed with Paul's opponent selection, implying that Paul is choosing easier opponents over a fight with him, KSI. KSI's remarks reveal his continued dissatisfaction with Paul's style of play and his wish for a real duel between the two. When it was revealed that Davis will not pursue their long-planned rematch but would instead take on Jake Paul in November.
I mean, look, with Jake, the guy's been ducking me or running away from me for so long, man. Like, he's just making excuse after excuse, and now he wants to fight Tank. I mean, it just says the type of guy Jake Paul is. He only fights someone if he has a major advantage. Anything that's close, or anything that could actually be a decent fight, he runs away from it.
In a scathing social media response, Lamont Roach Jr. implied that Davis had sidelined him in favor of a more profitable show. Roach, who was clearly dissatisfied, saw the decision as a conscious decision to forego a boxing fight in lieu of entertainment. In addition, he said that if the Davis rematch doesn't happen, he will turn his attention to a potentially significant fight with Shakur Stevenson.
I told y'all from the beginning, man, that I got the skills to pay the bills. I've been telling y'all that. And I'm just glad I got to show it, honestly. I'm glad I got to show it. I appreciate, like I said before, I appreciate True Boxing Media. Some guys that didn't count me out. So that's just how I feel, man. I think I won. And, I can't wait to do it again. I can't wait to dance again.
Do you want that rematch next? And if so, how likely it is that we're to see that fight happen again this year?
I'm not sure, bro. I'm definitely not sure, but hopefully we could get it before. Nah, it probably won't be this year.
Is that the one you want next?
It's definitely the one I want next, but it's not gonna be next.
What is?
You might see it in a minute. Definitely might see it in a minute.
His charges got dismissed in Florida.
Does that open up the possibility for talks to reopen?
The rematch, yes, it don't look like it's happening. That's just to, put it out there and be transparent with everyone. Again, we still haven't heard from his camp, like specifically when it comes to the business. It is what it is. As far as my future, man, we moving on. We can't just sit around and drag our feet. It's not like we're the cash cow, you know what I'm saying?
But do you think he even wants to fight you?
Honestly, no.
Jake Paul will take on Gervonta Davis in November, according to Eddie Hearn. We know that Gervonta is going to fight Jake Paul in November, he remarked during a media gathering. Then we'll see what happens, he said, highlighting the bout as a calculated move after the Anthony Joshua negotiations fell through. Though Hearn accepted the commercial sense if Davis is making far more than he would from a 50-50th boxing rematch, he noted that he disliked exhibitions and huge gloves when asked about the mismatch, given that Paul is over 200 pounds and Davis is approximately 135 pounds. Hearn also pointed out that Paul might use this fight as a springboard for a future matchup with Anthony Joshua.
I will have to come up with something for Shakur Stevenson. If I don't, that may be the end. It's got to work for me as well as Shakur. Maybe I haven't got anything for him. Maybe he hasn't got anything for me. But right now I know what we agreed with His Excellency, and that's what we'll do for now, and then see where we go.
I know you said you wanted to make that Tank fight, so hopefully we can see that in the future, Eddie.
Jake Paul, isn't he? So he's got, I don't know whether he'll fight. What's the rematch?
Lamont Roach.
I don't know if he'll still fight Lamont Roach. I know he's fighting Jake Paul in November, and then maybe Shakur after that.
Thank you, Eddie. Thanks.
Jake Paul's talking about fighting Gervonta Davis, who's 135 pound, and then on the other hand, he's talking about fighting a 260 pound monster in Anthony Joshua. Listen, he's crazy enough to probably do it all if the money's right, but we're not really interested in waiting until 2016. And we're certainly not basing our career around a potential fight with Jake Paul. But if we were offered it, why not? I mean, it would be such an easy night's work, and it would be massive. And Jake's smart. Look, I know that we have our back and forth. Jake's improving as a fighter, and you have to respect the fact that he's dedicated not just to the business, but also to the hard graft of boxing. I still don't think he's particularly good, but he's a decent, some level fighter. But he's crazy. You know, at first, I always felt that Jake was just using these people's names. I think he's got that many people around him that I wouldn't be surprised if he thinks he's got a chance against Anthony Joshua. You know, Jake, I watched him, Jake. You'll knock him out. Yeah. It's like, you know. But, you know, there's a difference between fighting Gervonta Davis, even Canelo Alvarez, and then fighting AJ. You know, the other two you can get just humiliated and schooled and beaten up a little bit. The other one you can be fully decapitated. So you've got to be careful and you've got to be smart. And I know you want the money, I know you want the big moments, but this ain't a game. That's it.
Do you think he's interested in signing Shakur after that?
Who?
Ludabella?
I don't know. I mean, you know, I will have to come up with something for Shakur Stevenson. If I don't, that may be the end. It's got to work for me as well as Shakur. Maybe I haven't got anything for him. Maybe he hasn't got anything for me. But right now I know what we agreed with His Excellency, and that's what we'll do for now, and then see where we go.
I know you said you wanted to make that Tank fight, so hopefully we can see that in the future, Eddie.
Jake Paul, isn't he? So he's got, I don't know whether he'll fight. What's the rematch?
Lamont Roach.
I don't know if he'll still fight Lamont Roach. I know he's fighting Jake Paul in November, and then maybe Shakur after that.
Dave Allen, a British heavyweight, called the Paul Davis exhibition utterly absurd and ludicrous. He asked why Davis, a top boxer, would choose a clout-chasing display over a rematch of his contentious draw with Lamont Roach Jr. Allen cautioned that this action damages the sport's reputation, calling it a publicity-driven spectacle rather than a fight deserving of boxing standards. "I wouldn't pay a dime to watch it," Allen declared.
He's training this fight, but fighting against real bears. This is true. People are going, no chance. Do you reckon this guy, could he be the toughest of your opponents so far? Do you reckon?
I don't think he's the best that I've faced. I've faced a few Olympic medalists, a few world title challengers, but I think he's probably the most dangerous. Maybe not the best boxer, he might not be the most technical, but he hits really hard, he's really big and strong, so yeah, I think it's the most dangerous task I've faced, but he may be not the best fighter I've been in with.
Whereabouts is the fight, Dave? Where are you fighting him?
He's still at Sheffield Arena,
right?
Headlining in Sheffield, which is like my local arena. So yeah, it's a big night for me.
He won his last fight, didn't he, Dave, against Ricardo Brown, and 20 wins, 19 KOs he's got. So like you says, he is dangerous. How's the training gone for you ahead of this fight?
Yeah, it's been good. He's put a bit of fear in me, to be honest. I've had a bit of genuine fear. I've been stopped, but I've never been on the canvas ever as a pro or amateur. So, and I'd like to keep it that way, really. Yep. I'm not on anyone's highlight reel. You see highlight reels, all the fighters I face. I'm not on any of them, and I'd like to keep it that way. So yeah, training has gone up a notch. For the Fisher rematch, I did weigh a little bit heavy. So for this one, if I cut any corners, there's a good chance I'll get beat in bad fashion. So it has really perked me up a little bit. I've been training a tiny bit harder. I've been eating a whole lot better and resting, and I think I'm looking at a career best performance.
Good man. Let's move on top of this big news of the day. Cruiserweight Jake Paul and WBA lightweight world champion Gervonta Davis will step in the ring together on an exhibition in Atlanta November 14. For context, the top weight for cruiserweight sits at 90.7 kilos, while the heaviest a lightweight can be is 61.2. Dave, this is surely I know it's an exhibition, but this is a mismatch, surely. It's ridiculous.
I'm not a fan of exhibitions as it is. I think if we're doing exhibitions, if there have to be a thing, let it be a thing for retired fighters.